Hello everyone, today I would love to present my Talaria Summer Institute research, which was titled Engineering Immune Cells to Fight Cancer. So, my mentor on this journey was Shen Wang, and I really appreciate her apprenticeship and her support and guidance throughout this process. So, I will today specifically talk about an introduction to CRT therapy, on how it works and how it overall processes, um, and I would love to talk about it. So, let's start my presentation with the question, the very simple question: why do we need to explore and study this topic? First of all, cancer is one of the greatest health challenges of our century. According to the World Health Organization, it caused nearly 10 million deaths in 2020, making it the second leading cause of death worldwide. More than 19 million new cases were diagnosed that same year, and the numbers are expected to only rise. Um, so traditional treatments like surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation have saved lives, but they also come with some harsh side effects like lacking of precision and also which often might lead to a relapse. This motivated this motivates to search for the new, the smarter therapies that target tumors more effectively while sparing the healthy cells. So, about the immunotherapy, there has been a significant rise over the past 2 decades as cancer immunotherapy has transformed oncology. Instead of using chemicals or any hazardous radiation, immunotherapy harnesses the body's own defense system, the immune system, to fight the tumors. Examples include checkpoint inhibitors, cancer vaccines, and adoptive T cell therapies. Unlike traditional treatments, immunotherapy can also create immune memory, which means the body might keep cancer away for years after treatment. That's a major shift in how we think about long-term um, cancer control by preventing the relapse, which of course it gives a huge advantage. Okay, so what is CRART therapy that I have said earlier, mentioned earlier? So, one of the most advanced forms of immunotherapy is this therapy, which is called cell therapy. So, how it works, as you can see from the diagram, doctors take a patient's own T cells, which are white blood cells that normally fight infections, and genetically reprogram them in the lab. So, what they essentially do is they add a synthetic receptor called a chimeric antigen receptor, or CAR, which helps the T cell recognize and attack tumor cells. This is powerful because normal T cells often fail to see cancer cells, but CAR cells are engineered to target them directly, even if the cancer tries to hide from the immune system. So that's what it makes the CRART therapy so popular and so efficient. So my research was based on this and explaining further how the CART process works. First, doctors collect T cells from a patient's blood through a procedure proce- procedure called leukapheresis, and in the lab, these cells are engineered with viral vectors to insert the CAR gene into their DNA. The modified cells are then grown and expanded into millions of cancer fighting cells. Before reinfusion, the patient receives a short course of chemotherapy to make space for the engineered T cells, and finally, the CAR cells are infused back into the patient where they track down and kill cancer cells. This process essentially turns the patient's immune system into a living drug tailored just for them. So, I'm talking about the clinical successes and overall focus of my research. I have conducted a full methodological analysis of various studies and databases where I turned that the results have been remarkable for the CART therapy and its specificity and so effectiveness. The results have been remarkable, and acute lymphoblastic leukemia had 81% of remission, which is honestly amazing. So, in pediatric and young adult patients with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, CART product called tisagenlecleucel achieved an 81% of complete remission rate, meaning the cancer disappeared in 4 out of 5 patients who had run out of options. For lymphomas, another therapy called axicabtagene ciloleucel showed an overall response rate of 82%, with more than half of the patients reaching complete remissions. These results represent a paradigm shift. Patients who had exhausted all treatments suddenly achieved durable, life saving remissions. But there should be some discussions about the challenges and risks of CART therapy, which I also uh, wrote in my research, is that CART therapy is not perfect. It faces major hurdles in like solid cancers or tumors like breast, lung, or pancreatic cancer. These tumors are much harder to treat because they present fewer consistent targets, they create an immune suppressing environment, and their dense tissues make it difficult for T cells to enter. Another challenge is essentially safety. One serious complication is cytokine release syndrome or CRS. This happens when CAR T cells release too many inflammatory signals at once, causing fever, low blood pressure, and organ stress. Another risk is neurotoxicity called ICANS, which can cause confusion, seizures, or even brain swelling. Doctors can manage many of the side effects with drugs like tocilizumab, but they remain a major barrier to wider adoption. So where do we go from here? Researchers are already working on next generation CART therapies. One approach is dual or multi antigen targeting, where CART cells recognize more than one marker on tumor cells. This helps prevent relapse if the cancer mutates and loses a single target. Another innovation is armored CART cells, which are engineered to release extra cytokines like IL-12 to help them survive and stay active in hostile tumor environments. A third approach is developing allogeneic or off the shelf CART therapies made from healthy donor cells rather than a patient's own. This would reduce costs, shorten manufacturing time, and make treatment more widely available. So, the ultimate goal is to make CRT more affordable, safer, and effective, not just for blood cancers but also for solid tumors. So to conclude, I would also want to highlight my Talaria experience. Is that I have really enjoyed it, and I honestly loved how I got guidance and help on every step. And now I learned, and now I know how to write the effective research, and I'm really fascinated by this field, and I would love to continue more work. So, in conclusion, CRT therapy is one of the most exciting breakthroughs in modern cancer treatment. It has already saved lives by achieving high remission rates in blood cancers. However, it still faces big challenges in solid tumors, costs, and safety. The future lies in innovation, smarter engineering, combination therapies, and scalable production. If these advances succeed, I really believe that it would be a really therapy would be could move from being a last resort treatment to a frontline option available worldwide. So thank you for listening. I really appreciate that you have watched this till the very end. And thank you very much. Goodbye.